That's great.
That's enough, Keith, man. That's enough, man.
This is Tim, y'all. It was Wednesday, June 7th, 2017, and a miserable rainy day in my hometown of Madison, Florida. Both of my parents had been in the local county hospital at the same time with health issues that had been life-threatening to them. After being there visiting them, I went to O'Neill's, a country buffet restaurant there in town, for lunch. I thought that if anything could make me feel better about the situation, their fried chicken could. When I walked in, I went over to an empty table to set my things down before getting in line at the buffet to fix my plate. Sitting in the table right by the one I had selected was a man wearing a bright yellow t-shirt, a Madison Middle School bright yellow t-shirt. It stood out to me because I myself had gone there at one time. It was Mr. Tim that was wearing this t-shirt. We both looked at each other and greeted each other in a friendly way, which is not at all uncommon to do with people you don't even know in small towns like Madison. When I sat down with my plate of food, I sat with my back to him to face the door to see who might come in, just as he had done. Well, it wasn't long before I realized that Tim was the type that had never met a stranger in his life. He was cheerfully greeting people as they came in and passed through the buffet line. Many of them seemed equally as happy to see him. As I sat and ate, I thought to myself, this guy is a real character. He seemed to be so genuinely happy and was like a bright ray of sunshine to me at the time. Even his random whistling of tunes seemed to brighten the place up. So when I finished eating, I got up, introduced myself to him, told him how much I appreciate the type of person he seemed to be, told him about the new project I had in the works, Stranger of Ice, and asked if he'd let me feature him in it. He cheerfully accepted, and here is what I learned about it. Tim is a 69-year-old former school counselor and 6th grade school teacher that quit teaching to go into the Army before retiring. He served for 23 years as a combat medic. Greatest job in the world. Healed the wounded, helped the sick, and kept everybody combat fit, he told me. He didn't mention it to me, but according to the cap he had on the table beside him, he is a Desert Storm vet. And one of my uncles that used to work with him in the county school system raved about what a great guy he is when I asked him about him. My uncle also told me that Tim was a good enough basketball player that he could have gone pro had he wanted, but instead chose to teach. To me, that says a whole lot about what type of guy he is. We need more people out there like him. I asked Mr. Tim what single bit of advice he had for the viewers of this story would be, and he said, be yourself, love everybody, and don't let anyone dim the light within. That's a quote from Maya Angelou. That's not mine, he told me. Well, Mr. Tim, Maya Angelou also said, there's no greater agony than bearing an untold story inside you. I can relate to that, as it has been eating away at me that life has gotten in the way of me getting this project up and going, and my story about you out there for others to hear. Thanks for being a great story to tell, and for being a ray of sunshine that day during a very sad and stressful time for me. You were even better than O'Neill's fried chicken, and that's hard to do.
I will every day, every day is a great day.